Supervisor Buster, would you like to comment?
Yeah, Ms. Bishop, you didn't specifically exclude me from you guys up there, but I was, okay, well, as you know, I tried to argue that an ordinance to circumscribe your legitimate constitutional demonstrations or right of protest was not necessary here in the county. We had enough existing ordinances. Now, having said it, you asked me how we could get this changed. And I said, well, if I could get somebody to second a motion, I would introduce that we either repeal this measure or revise it after talking with the sheriff and the other people that deal with protests, so we can tailor make this ordinance to fit the county's needs. But we do have a change board up here, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But and we also have new experiences, as you point out, and the right to protest is so fundamental in our democracy, and particularly on an issue like this one, that I hope you'll ask the entire board to reintroduce this measure so that we can change it. All right. The second thing, all these facilities are, and I agree with you, they come at us on a sometimes monthly basis, and they're often like stealth proposals. They kind of come under with a 6 or less comes under the radar screen. But even the larger ones, we have overlapping departments that are reviewing them, for their own reason, like mental health. We'll look at something and see if it's up to their standards and quality care. We need to do a better job of making sure that each department has a very close look from a variety of standpoints. You point out, whether the security is adequate, whether the things are up to building codes, whether they're concentrations. I mean, what's really striking to me here is that we look like we're being dumped on. And a specific area, the county looks like it's had more than its fair share already of state proposals to release very dangerous inmates in one area: Good Hope, Mead Valley, PERRIS area. Now, this is not right. This is fundamentally wrong as well. So I think we need to make a larger case and continue hammering away at it. And what we have a legislative agenda, and so we'll make this a star part of our legislative agenda to hammer away on every aspect of this issue so we get improvement. I think you've got people listening here, and unfortunately it's too late for many slain and abused victims. And the state I was reading their struggles now they have this civil confinement of very serious sex offenders. In other words, extend their stay locked up, even though it's not a prison, past their sentence. And yet the costs of that now are running $175,000 per inmate. So we've got to look at this issue from a strategic standpoint and look at the most serious offenders and concentrate our now limited funding and efforts to deal with them. So when we heard 3,400 sex offenders. We don't have 3,400. Maybe one person can check that 10 or 12 people are correctly registering and so forth. But we're going to have to look at these programs very carefully, see if we target the folks that are the highest risk.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Arizona state laws to work with that we could do something. I'd like to just comment back, respond to what Ms. Bishop said. And I want to thank you for being here today. And I applaud your involvement and your activism in your community, even though I don't always agree with you. And today is going to be one of those days when we disagree dramatically. Today you complain that you do not have the ability to protest as close to the home as you want. That misses the point. The way we approached the situation was more effective than protesting. Our strategy was to block rather than dislodge. If you recall the Dokich case, the protests right across the street and on the property line had no effect on his continued placement in the neighborhood. It was the good work of the Sheriff's Department documenting his movements, parole violations, that eventually removed him, not the protest.
Because we told them that he was leaving
He leaves the property frequently. Yet you continue to lobby against an ordinance that was decided more than a year ago. Plowing old ground is a luxury you might be able to afford, but it's one we just don't have. We have to look ahead, not to the past, and deal with new issues in our community. You complain that you would not be unable to protest as you want to in the case we're dealing with today. Again, you miss the point. The board members, the legislators, the district attorney, and the county staff have kept the situation from reaching a stage where protest was even needed. We stopped the problem before it happened. For some reason, you prefer to make a hypothetical argument in support of a moot point, so you continue to fight over an old issue. We're dealing today with the new issues that confront us, not the ones we've already dealt with in the past. And, you know, I'm looking at the demonstration, 30 feet from that property line, we could have mounted a very effective demonstration. I just don't, it's just that if the impact is little or none, I just don't know why you beat this to death. You're just off on a go nowhere tangent.